What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be working on this 2018 Street Glide Special. Now, like two of you are going to be asking, what are we doing to it? I'm getting ready to show you. We're going to be doing a full-on sound system, head unit. We will be doing bars, heated grips, and updating the air ride suspension on this bike. All right, so the first major question is, where do we start? I'm going to start with the cutouts for the lids. They're probably the most daunting portion of this because you are going to be cutting your bike. All right, so let's start off with what does the Hertz Autio cutout kit come with. So you get the inner lid, like framing, the vents for Hertz, and then the actual templates to cut out that you'll screw into your saddlebag lids, cut everything out, and then install the rest of this. All right, so here is the finished product of what the cutouts look like. Now on the other side, I will show you the full process step by step on how to do it to get that as a result. All right, so the first part, you're gonna take blue masking tape, and you're gonna tape off the whole top part of your lid that cutout is going to sit on, so you don't scratch the paint, or it just helps protect the lid of the saddlebag as much as you possibly can. All right, so once you get your lid taped up, ready to go, you're gonna take your jig and you're gonna put it on your saddlebag lid. Make sure it's flat, not really scooting around very much. Once it's on there, you're happy with it, it's not moving around very much. You're gonna take 3 screws. And this is the point of no return. You're gonna take 3 screws, hold down your cover, you're gonna put these 3 screws through the jig into your saddlebag. That way it's not moving, it can't go anywhere after that. All right, once I got that done, I used 3 different size drill bits. One or 2 of them are pretty small, but then one bigger one. I'll show you why. So first thing, I went through, I drilled all the 3 primary corners of the jig. Then I'm gonna take a bigger one. You wanna make sure it's the same size as whatever saw you were using to cut everything out. And I went through and I made basically pilot holes in the hard to reach, or in spots to where I wouldn't be having to try to start in a corner and make it all awkward. All right, and then you're ready to get the cutting. All right, now that you got your jig or plate screwed in, holes drilled, and everything's taped off, time to cut. I'm just using a just regular little jigsaw. Oh, and then put a hole in the top. What am I doing? All right. Boom. Got a hole. Perfect. I do recommend, I had to do it on the other side, coming along the bottom of this, out to the corner, and taking off about a blade's worth on the bottom of the hole. Makes the inner framing actually mount up to the cover a little bit nicer. All right, and you're gonna take your tape off. Boom. Nice hole in your lid. All right, so now you got your frame and then the mesh lid cover. Obviously, this goes out here. It won't work going backwards, okay? But, and then you got 4 bolts. And you will just take that, hold it up there, take the inner frame, and it is tight, so you kind of have to really squeeze it and get it to seat. Now to snug everything down, you'll want a ratchet and socket. These are a T20 Torx head, and you're just gonna tighten down all 4. Tighten down as you go around, just to make sure you get a good seal in between your frame, the lid, and then the mesh cover. All right, so once again, beautiful mesh cover, holds a 6x9. At this point, you're ready to install your speakers and get them ready to go. All right, so now that you got your lids cut and ready to go, and the speakers put in, of your choice, obviously, you're now ready to start getting the wiring ready to go from the speakers through the bags and underneath your seat so you can start to run it forward. Of course, you got to start with taking the seat off. All right, so you got the seat off. First thing you need to do, I don't know, to me it seems backwards, but depends. I personally like to see as little much of not stock wiring as possible. So I start here trying to make it look to where it's not there, and then move back and make sure where I place it, there's going to be enough slack to where I'm able to attach to the bags and make it look clean all at the same time. Yeah, so I'm going to place it right underneath the ECU, or the front part of the ECU, underneath the stock wiring harness that they have, and that should tuck it away enough to where it's not very visible. All right, so I went ahead and took the bags off. I'm going to take the side skirts off so I can hopefully kind of go behind them and make everything look clean and almost original. It's kind of what I'm going for. All right, now that I got the Y connector ran, the side skirts put back on to make sure it all looks pretty well stock. At this point, you're ready to run the wiring inside of the bag. And of course, inside the bag, you need to figure out where is it going to lay out at. Like I have shelves inside. You know, you got to make sure, okay, am I going to run behind the shelf, underneath of it? Like how am I going to run these wires before you just start drilling holes in your bag? Because that can be bad. And you get it where you don't want it, then you're screwed. You're buying a new bag. All right, so just as a quick recap, we have cut out the lids, installed the covers and framing, and installed the new speakers. We also ran the Y connector from the bags, through the bags, and underneath the seat. But that is going to do it for this episode. On the next one, we will be taking off the tank and the front fairing, replacing the head unit, and installing an amp.